Well, for this video, I had planned on releasing it at the beginning of July, but Hurricane Beryl came through my part of Texas. I lost power for 3 days. Unfortunately, my computer was a victim of the power outage. I finally got it running normally now. So when you hear me in the rest of this video, remember, I already recorded the sound. So I will mention the Olympics as if they are coming up, when they have already started. So here's the video. Where to begin with this one? This video might upset some people, since many people worship their American idols. However, the Bible warns against idol worship. So this video is about Dolly Parton, asking the question, is she a Luciferian? I grew up listening to different types of music, metal, rock, country, and so on. So I like Dolly Parton's songs. But in the end, all is revealed. So over the past couple of years, I have noticed some clues about her true allegiance. As I've stated many times before, you don't get to the top unless you make the deal. I have also stated that Satanism is a real thing, and people don't understand it quite the way they should. Why bother exploring the idea that Dolly might be a Satan worshiper? Well, simply to express that it is all of them. People might assume that because someone plays country music that they are with Jesus. This isn't accurate. Joel Osteen uses the name of Jesus all the time to manipulate people, and he is rich because of it. One that surprised me was Franklin Graham. A few years ago, he promoted the biological injection, just like Gene Simmons or Stephen Colbert. It's all of them. Alex Jones uses the name of Jesus, but then constantly pushes people into the arms of the Luciferian Trump. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, he says, even after warp speed. So now I will start showing some of the signs that Dolly Parton worships Satan. You can make up your own mind. First, I will show a picture of Dolly and Garth Brooks at an awards show. They made some sort of bad joke while on stage. I don't remember it though. But they also brought with them a baby goat. Now some people would just say, that's because they're country, you jerk. But this is a goat, a reference to the God of all things. Supposedly, Trump wrote a letter to the rapper Kodak Black and referred to himself as the goat, the God of all things. This was a part of the Barstool Sports interview. The next clue provided kind of cinched it for me. Back on November 5th, 2023, Dolly was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. At the event, she sung the song Jolene, but she didn't sing it alone. She did a duet with none other than Rob Halford, singer of Judas Priest. It would be like if she did the duet with Ozzy Osbourne. Now, if that doesn't cause you to snap, I don't know what will. If she is such a good Christian, then why is she doing a duet with a Satan worshiper? It's all of them. On top of that, they sung the song on November 5th. That's the end of the Samhain festival. Samhain lasts from October 31st to November 5th. November 5th is in many time travel movies. It is also the date of the United States 2024 election. What a quinky-dink. Going into her life, there are some clues. She was born on January 19th, 1946. That's 119 or 911 backwards. Weird, but these types of things have been noticed before. She was also born the same year as Trump, but 147 days apart. I also noticed that she was married in 1966. There's that 1966 again. 1966 being the number of Lucifer in the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. She apparently began her career in 1955. 66 and 55 being twin numbers. Recently, in November 2023, she sang at the halftime show. She was 77 years old, another Gemini or twin number. At this event, she sang Jolene again, and she sang 9 to 5. She did a promo clip for the Salvation Army before the show. I noticed this promo had the colors of evil. It contained the red, white, and black color scheme. And at the end of her performance, the vivid colors of the stage changed to the red, white, and black color scheme also. Another clue provided to us over recent years to show who she truly serves comes from the biological event in 2020. She was televised getting the injection. So naturally, all of her fans would think to themselves, if she's getting it, then it must be okay. This is one reason not to idolize people. Another example would be Elvis back in 1956 when he got the polio injection. Remember what I said, it's all of them. They all made the deal. Another sign that she isn't with Jesus is that she just recently revealed that she is in open marriage with her husband. Now how can this be? Isn't she one of the good people? Now for those church-going country folk that idolized her, this should give you pause. At this point, she is basically saying, do what thou wilt. Where does that come from? And here's another clue. She even promotes certain lifestyle choices. I found this story of her giving a guitar to a drag queen. How about that? But Trump has his own beliefs too. Here he is holding the rainbow flag. But that subject would have to be for another video. Now for a big part of why I decided to do a video on Dolly Parton. Recently, she has put out some new songs. Some are cover songs. When I looked at a few of these videos, I automatically saw some of the occult symbolism. So I will show you some of that. First clue is that for her YouTube profile picture, she has the obvious one-eye symbolism in it, as she is wearing a black eye patch. Very fashionable, you know. The first song I watched was We Are the Champions. She made this song for the upcoming Summer Olympics in France. When she is saying we are the champions, she is saying the Satanists have won. But let's look at some of the images from the video. In this image of Dolly with 3 dresses, the first thing that might come to mind are the 3 award medals given to the winners, the gold, silver, and bronze. However, some other things came across my mind. This image shows 3 of Dolly sitting in front of the Eiffel Tower. Now the Eiffel Tower represents the needle, in other words, the syringe. So why are there 3 of her? The first thought that came across my mind was the 3 witches. There's a lot of 3 witch symbolism in entertainment. The first coming from Macbeth by Shakespeare. There are 3 witches in the story. What I found while looking for this part of the subject was that there are some San Francisco Satanists that actually referred to the Macbeth witches. This makes the connection between witches and Satanism, since I know there are some people that like to say that there are good witches. More stories with the 3 witches include Hocus Pocus. I did not see this movie, but I'm pretty sure it was crappy. Then there is the show The Wiz, which features 3 witches. This story is a spin-off of The Wizard of Oz. In the movie Witches of Eastwick, the 3 witches follow the colors of evil. One witch has red hair, another has black hair, and the final has blonde hair. The hair may be blonde, but I know what they're getting at here. Also note that in this image there is a chessboard floor, commonly associated with the Freemasons. Dolly Parton was even in a movie with 3 women. It was called 9 to 5. While the women in the movie weren't spell-casting witches, note the phrase in the movie poster, the power behind the throne. Peculiar. Here, I also noticed the colors of evil again. One woman having red hair, the other having brown-black hair, and of course Dolly's blonde hair representing the white. Another movie I thought of with the 3 witches was Minority Report. Now these women weren't spell-casting witches, but they were precogs. In other words, they had clairvoyance. In the movie Charlie's Angels, there are 3 women. I didn't watch this movie, but I'm familiar with the old TV show. In the picture with the movie characters, once again, the colors of evil. One woman having red hair, another having black hair, and the last having blonde hair, representing white. They are referred to as angels. In the TV show, they spoke to some voice on an intercom, symbolizing angels speaking to a divine source. And finally, I will show a real-life picture of 3 witches. In 2014, an award show hosted by Nicki Minaj had a lot of occult symbolism. At the end of the award show, they had a band play a cover of Crazy Train. I won't go over all the symbolism in the performance, but right now I will show this. Sitting behind Ozzy are three women wearing strange black visors. They don't behave like the rest of the audience. They just sit in a specific pose. I believe they are associated with Ozzy, so it makes me think they are witches. Why the Crazy Train song? Well, I've been thinking about what the train symbolizes over the years. Recently, I had an epiphany. The train represents life. The train track represents DNA. So in Ozzy's music video, the V-shaped guitar represents the arrow. The polka dot colored guitar is flying over the tracks. So basically, the arrow or syringe is associated with DNA. The polka dots on the guitar represent plague, as noted in this article talking about the history of polka dots. What's happening now? Syringes and viruses. Then another thought occurred to me. Looking at her dresses in the image, we see silver, gold, and copper. All of these elements conduct electricity. So in other words, the image is showing an electrical component to the needle. In this image with fireworks behind the Eiffel Tower needle, we could think of the fireworks as a couple of things. One is that fireworks spread out. So a biological event could spread out. Or it could just simply be a representation of the virus itself. Then I got to thinking, maybe there's more to the Olympic logo than just a plain design, especially after the image from the video. What do you think the Olympic logo could symbolize? This last image from the video says a lot to me. To the average person, it's just a crowd of people. However, look closer. At the bottom right, you will notice that a girl has a shirt with a smiley face on it. It's the only shirt with a design. This makes it stand out. So why a smiley face? Well, in the actual truth community, we have discovered that a smiley face represents a virus or biological event. I will show a couple of examples. As discovered by Enter the Stars, in the movie The Howling, every time someone is bitten, there's a smiley face nearby, associating the bite or the virus transfer with a smiley face. Since it's the bite that transfers the biological substance for the person to become a werewolf. The next example comes from Forrest Gump. When Forrest is running, he gets muddy, so he wipes his face with his shirt and there is an image of a smiley face in the mud. In the movie, an unknown illness befalls the character Jenny. The mud part could represent the black goo, like from the Egyptian canopic jars or from the Marvel character Venom. There is a black goo reference in X-Files also. Mud could also represent the swamp or dark waters. In Hebrew, the word agam means swamp. Agam backwards is MAGA. Another image of a smiley face comes from the Fast and the Furious. Now I didn't watch these movies, so I'm not familiar with the different movie plots. I just happened to come across this movie clip from one of the sequels. And to me, it was obvious what the imagery was trying to depict. In the scene, a giant wrecking ball plows through a bunch of cars. Then the characters happen to see a smiley face on the wrecking ball. This tells me that the biological vent is the wrecking ball. It is what will wreck humanity. One more smiley face reference I will bring up comes from that awards show I mentioned earlier. On the bass drum of the drum set, there is a smiley face on it. Now keep in mind that they are playing the song Crazy Train. So now we can add the symbolism of the smiley face being a biological vent or virus and add that to what was decoded with the music video. So there are representations of syringes, arrows, DNA, plague, and viruses. I thought it important to mention the imagery of this Dolly Parton video since we are not far from the Summer Olympics. It makes me wonder if a biological event is being planned for the France Games. Anyway, this video is already running long, so I hope people understand the direction I'm going with this. All of these people at the top have sold their souls, including the ones that we think are the good guys. There will be a part 2 to this Dolly Parton video. There I will cover a couple more of her current music videos. If you stuck around this long, thanks. You'll like the next video.